We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Sorry this is uploaded late, I've had a migraine, but we're comparing the MiracleS on 34th Street, the 40s version and the 90s. In the 40s it's Macy's, but in the 90s Macy's didn't want to be associated with the movie, so now it's Kohl's. Both Santas sing or whistle jingle bells at the start of the movie. And at the start of the 90s, we also see the judge, who's going to preside over the case, with his grandson. They have a good relationship. Where in the 40s, the grandkids are pissed at the granddad because he's the judge.
Fine way to treat their grandfather. No hug, no kiss, no anything.
I don't blame them. Any man who puts Santa Claus on trial for lunacy.
There's some name changes. In the 40s, it's Fred and Doris, and in the 90s, it's Brian and Dory. Notice the lighting in the 90s as well. They deliberately lit over their heads to give it that nostalgic, warm feeling. Fred and Doris don't actually know each other at the start of the 40s.
Susie's told me quite a lot about you. I'm Fred Daly.
Yes, I know. Susan's told me quite a lot about you, too.
Hello, Mother.
Where in the 90s, Brian and Dory are already in a relationship, and he's already pretty serious about it. Both movies span from the 28th of November to the 24th of December. Susan pretty nonchalant and quite comically doesn't believe in Santa in the 40s version, where in the 90s she's actually quite sad and heartbroken about it.
She's Dutch. She just came
In the 40s, Santa talks to a Dutch girl who was actually played by an American who didn't know Dutch.
We've adopted her. I told her you wouldn't be able to speak to her, but when she saw you in the parade yesterday, she said you were Santa Claus.
Susan watches this encounter in the 40s and 90s version, but in the 90s, instead of being Dutch, it's actually a deaf girl who's played by a deaf actress, which is wonderful.
She's deaf. You don't have to talk to her. She just wanted to see you.
Chris actually looks a bit sad, like he almost pities the girl here, which is a bit sort of ableist and weird, but then he snaps out of it and is happy.
You are a very beautiful young lady.
Bad too.
In the 40s, they believe Chris is mad straight away and want to lock him up. They fight that no, he wouldn't hurt anyone.
Institutionalized to prevent them from harming themselves or other people. Now, Mr. Kringle is incapable of either. His is a delusion for good. He only wants to be friendly and helpful.
He may be off his rails a little bit.
Where in the 90s, this is about halfway
If
through.
he wants to call himself Santa Claus, then God bless him.
Both Susans show a clipping of a house that they want for Christmas, but in the 40s, all she wants is a house. And in the 90s, she wants a house, a dad, and a baby brother. Which seems, wanting a lot. In the 90s, her father ran away when she was a baby, where in the 40s, the mother was actually a divorcee, which caused a bit of controversy at the time. Listen to the score. It plays Jingle Bells really slowly in the background.
It's a tall order, but I'll do my best. May I keep this picture? Thank you. Good night.
Good night, Mr. Crinkle.
We also have Alfred in the 40s, who isn't in the 90s, unfortunately, but the fight that starts with the whacking of the cane is actually over Alfred being mistreated by an employee. And he fakes his injuries, pretending to be unconscious, where in the 90s version, this fight is actually against the drunk Santa that we see at the start. In the 40s, the drunk Santa was kind of jovial and fun, but this one, he's drunk and aggressive. And he's so mad he actually gets tricked by the sort of bad shops to being aggressive, to harass Chris, to stalk him, and he actually ends up calling him some pretty nasty things, ableist slurs, implying he's a pedophile, all to get a rise out of him, to make him violent.
a little bit deeper than that. Is there a darker side to this? Tell me something, you sorry old cripple, you. You got a thing for the little ones, huh? Huh? Well, they ain't much good for nothing else, are they? Huh?
Immediately, Chris is sorry, where in the 40s he kind of just runs off. And he also fakes his injuries in the 90s version, pretending to be unconscious. We see the judge's little boy, and he's the one that identifies Santa.
And, what does he look like?
There he is, sitting there.
Where in the 90s it's a different little boy who identifies Santa.
A bike and,
And who gave you the bike?
And the son approaches Chris to ask for what he wants for Christmas. Where in the 90s version, it's the father, the lawyer, who actually
Wanted me
asks.
to remind you to be sure not to forget to stop by the house tonight. Oh, I won't forget it.
And instead of the lawyer's son, we see the lawyer's wife brought up as a witness.
I'd like to submit the following facts and evidence.
To prove that Chris is
Concerns the Post
Santa,
Office Department,
the
an
defense
official
lawyer,
agency of the United
Fred
States
here,
government.
uses the postal system, saying that they can't deliver it to somebody who isn't who they say they are. Where in the 90s version, we see a Christmas card with money in it that shows the government puts faith in God. So therefore, why can't they put faith in Santa? Chris doesn't really meddle in the relationship in the 40s version, where he definitely does in the 90s, and basically tricks them into meeting and getting married. All for Susan's Christmas present, which she gets on Christmas morning and is very happy about it. And you think if divorce was risque, having him sleep over, I don't know. But in the 40s, she's quite pissed at not getting what she wants for Christmas, not getting a house.
You couldn't get it because you're not Santa Claus, that's why. You're just a nice old man with whiskers, like my mother said.
That is not why we're going to the
We're
house.
going to the catalog
In
house,
both the
right?
90s and the 40s version, we see them in a car going to a house under false pretenses, being tricked by Chris because this is actually Susan's gift. Where in the 40s, Susan's quite pissed and angry the whole time.
You and your husband were looking for a house.
In both versions, they love it, they want to buy it, everything's great. But in the 40s, they're actually not, engaged or married or anything, and they kiss finally, where we actually see them kiss in the 90s much earlier in the movie. I like both. I think they're both cute. I like the scores of them. I think the 90s version is a little bit more fun at times, but the 40s Susan is definitely sort of more playful. She, has gum and everything. I don't know. What's your favorite?